You're listening to the Late Night Football Show with your host, Rohit Singh. That's me. On this show, we talk about some of the most seriously silly topics from the world of football for your entertainment and enjoyment. Please remember that the show is BYOL. Bring your own laughs, since we don't have the budget for a studio audience. Happy listening.
Hello everyone and welcome to Late Night Football. It's only been a month or so ago that we did the review episode for the Premier League, but here we are doing the new Premier League season preview episode for 2021. These are certainly strange times that we're currently living in. However, such are the demands on a content channel like ourselves, so we have to follow the trends and prepare this episode. So before we begin, a quick reminder that everyone please like and share this video if you like it, or even if you don't, you can still share it. And please do subscribe to our channel if you're new, because we want to get to 50 subscribers by the end of this series, and we want your help in doing that. So I know these are modest goals, but there we are. You can also sign up to join Fox in the Box. Links are in the description below. We have our friends from that group again because, why not? So let's welcome our guests for today. Our first guest, you know him from the review show, and he's back again. Returning expert, statsman Adarsh Nim. Welcome back to the show, Adarsh.
Hello everyone.
And we're very happy to have you back on the show. Next up, we have Manchester United expert, Sahil Parekh. Sahil, welcome to the show. It's a real pleasure to have you.
Hi, Rohit. Thanks for having me.
Yes. I've been looking forward to getting your opinions on the topics we're going to cover today. So it's really great to have you. We also have Siddhant Agarwal, Chelsea fan, and so automatically a transfers expert based on what's happened this summer. But welcome, Siddhant, to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes. And finally, we have Pushkar Lakshmanan, still celebrating Liverpool fan. So Pushkar, welcome to the show as well.
Hey everyone.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys, for being on the show. It's my pleasure and honor to have you here and get your insight and opinion on the topics we're going to cover today. We're just a week away from the start of the season for most Premier League teams. So let's get right into it. Now, for those of you watching this video, this is going to be a three-part series. Tonight's show will focus on Liverpool and Manchester City. Tomorrow, we're going to focus on Manchester United and Chelsea. And then finally, the last show will focus on the other teams in the league, plus some other talking points from last season that we want to get into, like VAR, everyone's favorite topic. All right, so we'll get started with the defending champions, Liverpool, because why not? So let's get right into it. Pushkar, transfers are going to be a recurring theme for this season. As they usually are for every summer, we talk about transfer activity. But when it comes to Liverpool, this is going to be the second year now where they haven't signed anyone of note. I know you guys have signed a backup left back, but you rejected the chance to sign Timo Werner. The club is still unsure about whether it's going to sign Thiago. So is this lack of activity, you think, going to haunt them next season in terms of squad depth? Because the games are going to be coming thick and fast, right? Do you think that's a problem for Liverpool?
I think the word haunt is a bit excessive. I would say that. It's like, I understand it from a business perspective, like buy to sell. You want to have a sustainable business, especially this year, because we do not know what is happening with this during this virus season. But it is so frustrating as a fan when your rivals are signing. So, that's what I say. I understand it from a business perspective, but as a fan, I just wanted to add maybe a few, one winger or one midfielder, just to keep the squad competitive and maybe not make things too predictable. So that's about it.
No, I understand. And by the way, if you think haunt is too excessive, this is the world of social media and YouTube channels. We have to use words like this. We have to do haunt stuff. All right. No.
Do that.
I think.
I wouldn't be. Yeah.
No,
go ahead.
Please go ahead. No.
No, I was just saying I wouldn't be too concerned, because in the sense they have a good starting 11 that just came off winning a league. So that part is intact pretty much. The thing is, we want to be able to challenge on all fronts. We want to go for all the trophies. And if some bizarre freak injury happens, you need to have a capable backup to get into the first 11. That is what is perhaps lacking a bit.
Yeah, because Liverpool's first 11 is insanely consistent and insanely fit. They play most of the games all the time. So but they sometimes feel like they're like and one or two injuries away from trouble. But they had few injuries in 2019, and then Origi stepped up and scored a few goals. So you never know what happens. But Siddhant, Chelsea have been buying
Can I
players.
just add one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, certain players get protected by the system, definitely. Like if Origi is playing or if Minamino comes in this season, then obviously he is not going to have the same role as perhaps if Salah or Mane has. So there's a bit of like pros and cons to it, you could say. Yeah,
Well,
Siddhant, you can.
absolutely. But as I was talking to Siddhant, we're talking about squad depth and transfers, and nobody knows that better than Chelsea and what they've been doing. And we'll get into
Right.
that tomorrow. But Chelsea have done business, City have done some business, and does it feel like Liverpool maybe will be feeling concerned? I mean, Pushkar touched on that. Is there concern? Is because there is that cliche adage, right, about if you're standing still, you're falling behind. Should
Uh,
Liverpool be concerned from that perspective?
right. So first of all, I believe that Liverpool are still favorites for the upcoming season.
Spoiler.
But hello.
Yeah, no, carry on. No, just
Yeah. So yeah, first of all, I believe that Liverpool are still favorites for the upcoming season. But what I think is lacking in Liverpool is like a second strategy. Like you just said that for 2 seasons in a row they have kind of like a similar squad. So sometimes it does happen that you become less predictable, and you become more predictable. I mean, and the opposition does figure out your strategies and things like that. And every season you do need to have something different. You know and if I
Mhm.
think about Liverpool, the reason I think Klopp wanted to sign Werner is because he did want a different uh, look to his attack sometimes. As in, they do have Mane, Firmino, and Salah right now. But sometimes, if they wanted to play more direct form of football,
Mhm.
so in that time you do need like a target man. And Origi, I think, is the target man which they have, but I don't think he's world class. He has chipped in a few goals here and there, but he's not the top notch target man. He's not exactly the person who'll convert those crosses on a regular basis. So I do think that they need to sign a target man. I know they have been in for even Thiago Alcantara from Bayern, but not sure if they are going to get him because he
Yeah,
also
we'll
says
cover
that.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I, with respect to midfield and with respect to defense, I think they are fine. Again, I know some people, Liverpool fans, will say that Firmino is a really good striker for them in different ways.
Let's
And
not go. Oh my god. Okay, I can see Adarsh already. Like
yeah, so,
he's
and
twisting his hair in the way.
it's not that I am against that thought process. Yeah, you do need a striker who also does good link up play, which Firmino is good at. But you do need a proper target man. And I think if Liverpool can get one world class target man in their team, then they are even more complete than what they are. And, they'll be a more feared team, is what it is.
Well, they do have. Well, here's another one to make Adarsh scratch his head. They do have the Player of the Year in their midfield, the FWA Player of the Year in their midfield, John Henderson. But no, I shake.
He
Uh,
was the best player of the year. I don't like. I can't disagree to that. He was very good. He was a very good player.
but anyway,
I
all right.
think the thing
So
with Henderson is actually, yeah, Rohit, just one second. I think the thing with Henderson is he does a lot of little things good. Like he's not exceptional at one particular thing, but he has a lot of different attributes that
No,
help him
I was
maybe
sarcastic.
get into.
I was sarcastic. He's
No,
shit.
that's fine, but and no, he is not. That is where perhaps there's a different strategy to it. So I cannot explain it to you. Perhaps you don't understand it. I don't know what to say about that. But
Like only
Pep
writers
plays
could
a different
understand it.
foot.
That's why they chose him for the award, but not the Premier League. Like even Premier League couldn't understand him. That's why they chose Kevin for the Player of the Year. So
Just agree to
I
disagree at
think a
this
lot of
point because
English
I
bias
think,
also comes into that because
yeah,
Henderson was involved in a bunch of charity work during the COVID season, right? Like when COVID just struck. So I think that kind of factored in because even Marcus Rashford ended up finishing third in that award. So it's probably not just a
English
football based award.
Yeah, there
Tough
is an
one.
English bias for sure.
Yeah.
He's captain of Liverpool. He's English.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always like objective there, but that I mean, yeah, we talked about Henderson in the last one, so we'll park that one for now. Thankfully, we're doing this on video and not live because they might be able to cut away. But no, that's just on me. But talking about personnel, we're talking about players. I think Pushkar, you mentioned that the squad is the playing 11 is more or less settled at this point. But there is one position that I think, if there is debate, there's on one position, and that's probably who's going to partner Van Dijk, because the back five, four of the back five pretty much pick themselves. Allison, Robertson, Alexander Arnold, and Virgil Van Dijk. They're probably going to start every game if they're fit and available. But between for that second centre half spot between Matip and Joe Gomez, who do you think is the best suited person to start? Should it be?
I think they both have like certain pros and cons to both of them. Like Matip has definitely more experience and is comfortable on the ball. Gomez perhaps is bit more physical, has more speed. But I think Klopp should continue with Gomez.
Mm-hmm.
He's young. He will learn from his mistakes if he makes any. And he has played with Van Dijk very well in the past, so partnered with him very well. So I think Gomez is the preferred choice right now.
Do you agree, Adarsh? It should be Gomez?
Yeah, it should absolutely Gomez, because he has been very good under Van Dijk. He's having good influence from Van Dijk, like similar to what Varane had besides Ramos in like from 2013-2014 when Pepe like left Real, and Real did not actually sign any world-class defender to like cover his space. So that's exactly what Klopp is doing with Gomez, I guess. So he is under a very good influence, like a player of the caliber of Van Dijk, of what he is. So, and Matip has its own perks. He has that experience who can handle pressure at big games. So he's a good backup, I would say, at this point, because he's 29 right now and he's already playing his peak football. So, but I still think that Klopp is looking for and making a team for the future. So Gomez is the viable option right now, and he will stick to it by the end of the season as well. So,
yeah, I swear I thought Matip was 29 when he signed for Liverpool, but he seems to be 29 now. I think he's been 29 for ages. Anyway, another question for you, Pushkar, then on players. We talked about the lack of transfers, and Liverpool do have some good youngsters coming through. The ones that I've heard of: Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Nico Williams, to name a few. I don't know all of them, but I know a few. I can only assume that it would mean not having a lot of players signed could probably mean opportunities for youngsters. Do you think that any of the youngsters, if there is a youngster who's best placed to break out, do you know there's someone who could break out this season?
I think Curtis Jones is the one who is probably going to get most minutes in the Premier League. I cannot see Elliott or Nico Williams getting minutes in the Premier League. Maybe the League Cup or the FA Cup. And Brewster, I don't think he has adapted to the system.
Oh, yes, I forgot about him. But, yes.
No, but yeah, he's pretty young. And I think the most likely scenario in his case is to go out on a loan and play with, get more minutes under his belt, get more experience, then maybe start adapting to the system that Liverpool play. Because the way he plays in the box, that is not what Klopp has in for his striker. So he won't be able to fit in this season. So I would basically just say Curtis Jones for this season in the Premier League.
Yeah, Brewster, I think needs a loan and then practice taking penalties.
But overall, I think I would keep an eye out for Elliott. I think he has a tremendous potential to perform. He looks comfortable on the ball, whatever little I have seen him play. So
I don't know if I don't know if you missed what I made that snide comment there, but I said Brewster needs a loan.
I know, and
you ignored
yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what to say. I know Liverpool brings out the worst. All right,
You can choose your battles.
Yes, well, people who watch the show know that I do not resist any opportunity to take digs at Liverpool. It's just
who doesn't these days?
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's a good thing, right? If you're on top, that's when people take digs. But yes.
Yeah.
But all right. So next week, first game for Liverpool. We start next week the season. Assuming that the squad is going to be the same, I think it would have to be, because even if Thiago is signed, he'll have to go through a 2-week quarantine period, so he wouldn't be able to play anyway. But assuming that the squad is the same, Sahil, what would be your ideal starting 11?
So I think most of the team probably picks itself. Like you have Allison in goal, you have Trent and Robertson as the fullbacks, Van Dijk and Gomez um, in centre back, and then you have Salah, Firmino, and Mane up front. I
Mhm.
think the main, if there's a change, it might be in midfield because I have a feeling Klopp might try to make his midfield more creative than functional this season because I think that's maybe one of the reasons he's trying to chase Thiago so much because
Mhm.
right now, I think even in midfield, I think Fabinho and Henderson probably pick themselves, but the only person left is Wijnaldum, and I think maybe Keita comes in from Wijnaldum this season because Keita played a bit towards after a restart, so maybe Klopp might want to start including him, and because I think Keita is probably like a player we haven't seen of the like at his best yet, and he might have a lot to offer um to Liverpool. So I think Klopp might start including Keita more. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Keita in place of Wijnaldum, and there might be a change of like a slight tweak to make his midfield more creative and like have some and like have the
Mhm.
dependence less on his fullbacks and maybe like start sharing it between his midfield and his fullbacks.
Yeah. And well, I mean, Ginny is subject of a bid from Barcelona, right? The rumors are.
Yeah, and he's also entering his last year in his contract, and it
Mhm.
might not be renewed. So maybe Klopp might want to start phasing him
Sure.
out.
Yeah.
And
Pushkar, do
yeah,
you agree with that? Would you make any changes to
Yeah,
it?
totally agree. Yeah, basically, Kita has been bit of what subject to injury over the past 2 seasons. So if Wijnaldum does not leave, I would expect him to start against Leeds. But if there is more of a rumor or like more concrete thing happens from the rumors, then yes, obviously Keita.
Yeah. All right.
The rest of the team is pretty much the same.
Well, that was pretty straightforward. All right, so we come to the last question on Liverpool because I think that's a lot of Liverpool for one show. But let's ask about where do you guys think this is a question for everyone. Where do you guys think Liverpool will finish this season? And what we're going to do is we're going to use your answers to sort of create a table at the end, our Premier League table prediction for the season. So yeah, we'll just try to see. We'll take the majority count of where you guys whoever picks where Liverpool finish. So we'll start with you, Adarsh, since we'll go alphabetical. So, Adarsh, where do you think Liverpool will finish this season?
Second, like behind Manchester City, because I don't see Liverpool competing for title once again.
All right, no bias there at all for sure. Pushkar, where do you see them finishing?
I think there is no reason to suggest that they cannot do a back-to-back league title because the starting 11 is pretty much the same. So if they are focusing on the Premier League, then why not? So first position was me. Expect a tough battle from Man City, yes, but Klopp definitely knows how to get the best out of his players.
All right, Sahil.
I think they'll win their title again. That's what I think because I think the team might still get better. Players like Trent, who's only 21, and he's already posting such numbers, he might get even better, which is scary. So, and also I think Salah and Mane still have a couple of years where they can continue scoring at this rate. So, I think they'll win it again.
Siddhant.
Yes, I pretty much agree to that. They Liverpool should win the title again. Their squad is again pretty young, so they have their prime years ahead of them, and this squad can actually get even better. So I think they should win it, but I think the difference in points between the first and the second, I don't think it will be as much as it has been this season. It will be a closer contest.
All right, so there we have it. Based on the majority rules winning, our unofficial prediction is that Liverpool will finish first in this season. So that's going to be a table setter. So watch out for that in the last episode when we build our prediction. So I think we know now that our prediction is that Liverpool is going to finish first. All right, so on that note, we'll now move on to the numero dos team from last season. A bit of my butchered Spanish, but it's Manchester City that we're going to talk about next. And well, just before that, smash a like if you agree with the assessment of our experts. If you think Liverpool are going to finish first as well, do smash a like. Don't smash a dislike if you think they're not going to seriously. That'll just break my heart. No. But all right, let's talk about Manchester City. And it's a bit of a sore topic, I think, for others, but we'll cover it first so we can get it out of the way. The biggest noise of the summer was Lionel Messi to Manchester City. That is the thing that's been talked about, and we got confirmation today that that move is definitely probably not going to happen. Very unlikely. Never say never, but it's probably not going to happen. it was non-stop on social media, YouTube, news channels. I mean, others, as a City fan, how disappointing is it for you to know that Messi is not coming to Manchester City? A, from a player perspective, but also from the fact that City put a lot of effort and a lot of attention into that deal when they could have spent time on something on another deal, right?
Yeah, it was Manchester City all along who was like totally interested into Messi for like not only this season but for like couple of seasons. We are like seeing news of Messi whenever he wants to leave. He's just always linked with Manchester City. Either it's the newspapers or it's just Messi himself who just connects himself with Manchester City. Maybe because of Pep, who knows? But this season it was like very much likely he would leave Barca and would join City, and it was most likely going to happen. But we just got the confirmation today itself that he's gonna stay at Barca,
Yeah.
and in the end, it's just like quite accepting for us because we were always like we were happy for having him because he's a player who has been like he is the definition of football for many of the football fans around the world. So he will obviously get so much fame. Like he will get so much fame for Manchester City, not only in the name of like a big club, but in the terms of finance as well as sponsorship, everything. Even Premier League would be getting so much sponsorship with him. So it's just a thumbs up for everyone. But in the end, he stayed at Barca, and it was not even just Barca; it was La Liga and Barca together versus Messi. So in the end, it was just Messi alone and his family. So yeah, it just didn't go as per the plan of City fans, I would say, because they were expecting him, and all the news were like expecting him as well. Eventually, it was his and his father's decision to take, and yeah, it just got by side the of like it went under the pipe, nothing else.
Yeah, it's a very poker face there. Others, but the transition is that screw Messi. Why the fuck did he not come to Manchester City? I think that's what I was just trying to say inside. But he's
Yeah,
internalizing,
Probably.
he's internalizing his feelings. If
yeah,
you
but
follow him,
in
I
the
mean,
end,
like,
it's
who
like
doesn't want Messi in his
it's like
team? To be fair.
yeah,
yeah, no,
actually,
that's
like who doesn't want Messi? But when you see it with the perspective of a long view, it's good for the city because we have been
Yes,
signing young players and all like Ferran Torres and Bernardo
yes.
is still young. So like yeah, it's good for a long process. But when it comes to like finance and all like different perspective and business comes into play, like it would have been a good move.
yeah. Well, to be
I
fair,
think there
I
was
have the
similar transfer. I think there was a similar transfer saga when Pep was at Bayern, and Messi had to renegotiate his contract. It's always happens with Pep Guardiola rather than.
yes. Well, I mean, nobody is more affected than me, I think, because I had all these questions prepared for you guys on Messi to Manchester City, and then yesterday I had to change all of them because I got news that it probably might not happen. So, well, nobody's more disappointed than I am, I think, yeah. But Siddhant, I think from a neutral perspective, like, what do you like? What do you think is Messi not going to Manchester City? Is that ultimately a good thing or a bad thing for City and the league in general?
Uh, I think for City it's a good thing. I know with respect to business and the commercials, it would have been a good thing. But purely if I'm talking about footballing reasons, I mean, I don't think Messi to City would have been that great for City because City have anyway been scoring goals for fun. They don't
Mhm.
have problems with respect to the attacking side. I know Messi would have brought a lot of sponsorships, a lot of focus.
Well, they
But
get those anyway, like,
yeah,
through
yeah,
yeah, through their owners they get that. No, I'm just joking.
yeah. I
No, I'm
mean, and
joking.
if you're
Okay, no,
talking,
this is alleged. Yeah, no, that's it.
yeah, and if you're talking about even commercial and business perspective, I mean, I am not sure if the return on investment with his
Hmm.
supreme wages or maybe a big transfer fee would have been there, because he's 33 and he's not getting any younger. So I don't think, and I think because of this whole Messi saga, I just hope that City have not really lost their focus because attack is not where they really need to improve. They've already signed Ferran Torres, a young striker, who's going to be backup to Aguero and Jesus. So I think what they really have to do and why they have been chasing Koulibaly is they really need to shore up their defenses. You know,
And we'll talk
uh,
about the defense.
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
I noticed
Yeah,
others.
but that Messi like like recovering all those money with his wages, it's just a tip of like it's just so easy for City. Like his sales, his T-shirt sales, his revenue is just so big, like
Mhm.
far better than any
Yeah,
other
and
player in
No.
football right now.
yeah, and
Like
probably Messi would have
even with
helped
his
them fill
T-shirt
their
sales, we
stadiums
would
as
have
well.
just recovered his wages. So like it's not a problem for us anyway.
Well, the
Plus we
stadium
have that
thing.
so much oil money, so like we don't need any other finance as well.
Okay, first of all, the stadium thing wouldn't work this season because we're not gonna have fans for a while.
Exactly.
So, and
Yeah.
there's probably even when we have fans, it'll probably be a third capacity. So that's probably where City have that many fans to fill the stadium anyway. A third capacity. No, I'm kidding. But on that note, on a serious note, though, Adarsh, what I do want to say is there's a lot of myths, even with a lot of other clubs fans about T-shirt sales. Clubs don't make a lot of money from T-shirt sales. What they make is on shirt sponsorship, and then whatever they probably get a plus 1% or 1.5% of T-shirt sales. So they don't get a lot of money from T-shirt sales. What it might help is that if the new contract for a T-shirt company was going to be negotiated while Messi was in at the club, that might help them get a better sponsorship deal. But it wouldn't help them much with T-shirt sales. But
And
nonetheless,
right,
I think
so
that this is all
it
hypothetical.
correct, and it might help them in commercials. That is there, but purely with respect to football reasons, I don't think it would have been great for City
Yeah,
as such.
obviously because he is 33 years old, and
Right.
players like Farhan, Foden, they're already waiting in the line for so long to like
Exactly.
play. Not Farhan, but Foden. So yeah, and Messi was more of a like creator at this age, not a goal scorer anymore, like typical goal scorer. So he must have played in the middle more than on the wings. So he must be taking the place of Foden. So yeah, it's good when we see in a long perspective run, but yeah, it's fine.
Okay. We don't want to make this messy centric, so we're gonna move on. But very quickly, signing a player for commercial reasons. As much as I'm not a City fan, I would say City don't normally do that. They don't sign players for commercial reasons. That's what Manchester United do. So don't like. But okay, let's move on. I have to be fair. I want to take things at every club, right? So let's move on to coming back to Manchester City. Now, last season was a rarity. It's only happened 3 times that Pep Guardiola has not won a league title in a season. Yeah, I checked it up. That's very rare. Uh, is it's that might be some factor of not having the experience of being a title challenger. But what do you think Pep needs to do now to address those issues? Has he done enough? We talked about all the issues that affected City's challenge last season. Others, do you think that he's done enough in the summer to address those issues? What do you think?
Uh, I think what Pep needs to do is just keep things simple because he does keep things simple when it's a Premier League match. The only place where he just tries to do a little more. It's just the final games and the cup games where he just tries something different, try every like other experiment and all. But in the league games, he tries to be simple and direct, and that's why we have been like banging league goals day in day out and like winning titles like so much with Pep Guardiola in the domestic league. So we just need to focus on the defense, and I guess City are going after Koulibaly. The like there's still notches up there. So let's see. He just needs to be simple. That's it. And if we get a couple of more signings to show, like in our midfield or in our defense, we are ready to go. Like, we are ready to even have a good amount, like good title race for the Champions League as well.
Yeah, Sahil, do you agree with that assessment? And do you think that Pep's? I mean, we know Pep's doing. Well, we know they'll do on the signing side, but do you think there are things that he can do on the mentality side or the training ground?
Yeah, definitely. I have a feeling that the players might be a little frustrated with how things are going because it's been like three Champions League quarterfinal exits in a row, which shouldn't have happened. And also the fact that I think you can see in quotes by players like Zinchenko who went full blast on, like not full blast, but like he didn't really suggest good things about
That
this
was his
about
wife.
the quarterfinal.
That was his
Yeah,
wife.
so I feel like it, and also I think there's also a thing that Pep sometimes like if there's a hurdle he cannot cross it. Like we saw it Bayern, he couldn't cross the semi-final hurdle. So I think it might be a mentality thing for Pep more than City. Like, and that's further affecting his players. That's why I think Pep needs a transformative signing, which is why Messi would have been really helpful because like when we signed Van Persie, right? Even though we didn't really need a striker at that time, but like we signed him and he just like took us to the title almost single-handedly at that time. So but I think more than a forward, I think City definitely need a transformative signing in defense, which I think is Koulibaly. It has to be him. But I
Right.
think even then, I think the City team might have been past its peak, and I don't think Pep has done anything that suggests that that he would be able to revamp in a way Sir Alex Ferguson used to do back in the day. Like he would just like rebuild his team from scratch. I think Pep seems like someone who can't really cross past hurdles at some points after he's done managing for like 4 years. Because same happened at Barca. He was done after he lost that one title to Mourinho. Like it completely exhausted him. Even at Bayern, he was done after he lost the semi-final 3 times in a row. And might be the same thing over here. We never know.
Others, you're shaking your head. Do you want to add something before we move on?
Yeah, because it's nothing like cannot make it from a scratch, but because we have seen City like with the players when Pep Guardiola got into Manchester City, there was player like Sanya, Clichy, Kolarov, like other like many Jesus Navas, Negredo, like these players who were like not fit enough anymore. So he started from nowhere. Like when you sell players and you get new ones, it's just nowhere. You have to maintain that and reach that level with those players as well. So yeah, he has done a pretty good job and he has built a good foundation for City. And let's see if he stays for a couple more seasons. Will he like can he get Champions League for us or not?
Yeah, I think that will be the key. I think this season, I think being in the Premier League and the Champions League. But we did this. Let's talk about. You talked about defenders, and we talk about central defenders all the time. We talk about Koulibaly and Upamecano and all these players. But one issue that I think has been a little bit under addressed is actually the left back issue. Because if you think about all the players that he's used Fabian Delph, he's used Mendy, he's used Zinchenko, Angelino, Fabio Cancelo. None of them seem to have really nailed down that position. I don't know. Is that a situation that you think is a concern, or do you think it's just something that's manageable with the players that they have? The left back issue. Yes, that's for you, Adarsh. Yes.
Uh, yeah, Mendy is a like first priority for us because he's a natural left back, more of a wing back. And Pep likes to play him because of his attacking attributes. His crosses are actually good and productive. So Pep sticks with him,
When
but his injury is a liability for us because his injuries are not small. It's like a big injury whenever it comes to his door. So whenever it comes, we have to be ready. And like unfortunately, we don't have a natural replacement for him at that position. So we'll be sticking with Zinchenko. But if he is not sold, so he can play there, but he'll be a third choice. Second choice would be obviously Joao Cancelo. So he would be playing there because he has been training at that position for a while now. He started playing there before Champions League like match fixture with Real Madrid. So he has been playing there for a while, and he would be playing there itself for the backup of Walker as well as for Mendy. So he'll be as a dynamic player. Although if we get a left back, so it will be a good thing for us. But I don't think there is a star left back at the moment in the market whom we can get right now. Every other player is either committed or already at his peak.
Yeah. No, I mean I understand that.
But what I would like to add on to that is I think that is the reason why Nathan Ake is a shrewd signing for City. Because actually in Chelsea academy, he used to be playing as a left back. Yeah. And he actually kind of transformed to a center back on the way, but he can play left back,
Yeah.
So I think that's why he has been signed. He's a versatile backup player too.
But
Both the center
he'll
back
most
and left back
probably stick to
positions.
the backup of Laporte because Laporte has shown signs of being injury prone, and we have struggled very much because of his like not being there with the team. So whenever he is not there, I think Ake will be the one who would be replacing him with his naturally left ball playing like center back.
Right.
So yeah, I think Pep would be saving him for that role.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I mean, he spent a lot of money on fullback, so maybe he doesn't have any more left for that side. But well, I think that will be my final dig on City. But Pushkar, we did this for Liverpool. I know it's a bit tricky asking you for the ideal starting 11 for City because you probably want them to have a weak team. But if you were to pick the team for City, what would be your starting 11? 2 weeks from now, that's City's first game. Assuming everything remains as is now, what would be your starting 11?
Ederson for starters, obviously. But I'm not exactly sure about the centre back partnership. I think Walker and Mendy are going to be the fullbacks.
Okay.
If like Adarsh says, Ake is going to be a Laporte backup, then I assume like someone like Fernandinho might play at centre back because Pep has done that in the past, and maybe go with Rodrigo Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield.
Okay.
And then you have Sterling, Aguero, Mahrez, because I expect Mahrez to feature more this season.
All right. Others, do you agree with that, or do you want to make some changes?
Yeah, a similar lineup with Edison at the back, Walker at right back. Like it will either be Stones or Otamendi if not sold in that position, alongside Koulibaly and Ake as his backup. And Mendy would be the ideal left back for us with Rodri.
But did you
in
mean
midfield.
Koulibaly or
And,
Laporte?
if Koulibaly comes, like he'll be having a partnership with Laporte. If he doesn't, then we'll be sticking with like either Stones, Otamendi, or Eric.
Yeah,
Eric
you won't
Garcia
have.
presently.
Yeah, well, you won't have Koulibaly for the first game now because he had to be registered today. If he had to play.
Yeah, so like it will be Stones for me,
Mhm.
and after that in the midfield it would be Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, and in the front three it would be Sterling, Aguero, and Mahrez, because Mahrez has been ripping Premier League apart for some seasons now, and he would stay the same in our lineup.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a very interesting lineup. Yeah. All right. Final thing. We did this for Liverpool. Let's do this for City now. We'll go reverse this time. So, where do we think City are going to finish this season? Siddhant, where do you think they're going to finish?
I don't think they are going to finish first. I would say top three, second or third.
Well, you gotta pick one.
They should finish second if they sign a good defender, world class defender to support Laporte. But if not, they
So, if you were
could
to
even
pick, would
go
you
down
pick
to
second
third.
or third? What's your prediction, man?
I will have a biased prediction that
That's fine.
I would still go for second. City
Second.
should.
All right,
second.
Sahil.
I think City's gonna finish third. At best second if Koulibaly turns out to be the signing like how Van Dijk was. But
Right.
I think third, or maybe even worse if they don't get a centre back.
So third is your answer, right?
When
Yeah,
you
but I
ask
think
from a
third.
United fan, it has to be a biased opinion, so that's natural.
Yes. No, that's fine. So third, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Pushkar.
I think like all the teams basically expect to win against the bottom half, like the top teams. So if there was supposed to be a mini league between the top eight, let's include Everton and Spurs, for example, here, I think that will kind of decide the top four. So I would go for City second.
Second. Okay. Adarsh. First, right?
The title is ours to take this time. So yeah, first
So we got
for City.
Yeah. So you got two
Yeah,
people.
just like Messi is there for you to take.
Okay.
You can go as hypothetical as you can. So yeah.
Okay, so I think we have second because I think two people said second and then one person said first and third. So second. So that's where we're going with Manchester City prediction that they're going to finish second this season. But they could finish first as well. I mean, there's a good team there still somewhere. All right. So smash a like if you agree with our experts on that one on City finishing second. Let us know what you think as well. So that's our episode for tonight, folks. You just heard from our experts what Liverpool and Manchester City, their present and their future would be like this season. So leave in your comments. Let us know what you think and if you agree with their assessments. Where do you think they'll finish the season? What do you think they need to do? But that's it from us today. We'll be back tomorrow with a report on Manchester United and Chelsea. So stay tuned for that one. Please also remember to smash a like and share this video and also subscribe to the channel. Take care, guys. See you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to that episode of Late Night Football. We need your help to grow this channel, so if you've been enjoying the show thus far, please do like and subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, drinking buddies, fellow football fans, and anybody else you know or don't know. We'd really appreciate it. Please also follow us on Twitter and Facebook via the links in the description below and spread the word about us. Take care.